Yo, today I'm checking out Dragon Traveler, a brand new game that just dropped on PC and phone, and this is my first look, plus everything I wish I knew before I started so you can avoid the early mistakes and get a smoother start. I actually began playing on my phone during my lunch break at work, and then when I got home I switched over to PC, and honestly that combo works really well for this type of game. If you want to play on PC, you can download the official PC launcher from the Dragon Traveler website, and then you can just log in and continue where you left off for mobile. So right away, it's one of those games that fits really nicely into your day, like quick progress on your phone, and then you can chill on PC later. So, let's get into it. The game starts you off with what feels like a pretty long tutorial, around 30 minutes or so, where you're running through the world, unlocking features, learning the menus, and picking up a bunch of different currencies like crystals and other resources. At first, it can feel like a lot because it's constantly throwing new systems at you. But here's the thing, that tutorial is also where the game sets you up with your early resources, and if you do it in the right order, you get a massive head start. And yes, if you don't care about the story, there are parts you can skip, so you can speedrun your early progression. I did a mix. I skimmed what I wanted, skipped what I didn't, and focused on just unlocking the important stuff. Now here's the biggest thing I wish I knew, and I'm going to say it clearly because this is where people mess up early. Do not spend your crystals at the start. Don't do it. You're going to get a bunch of crystals early on, and your brain is going to go, oh, nice, time to pull. But if you spend them immediately, you're basically wasting your best early advantage. What you actually want to do first is unlock the second Gacha banner. That second banner is where the value starts to make more sense for what you're trying to build, especially if you're aiming for those SSR characters. So how do you unlock the second banner? You need to do 60 pulls on the first banner. And the easiest way to do that without burning your crystal stash is to use the free tickets you get from just playing the game. Literally, just keep pushing the story mode chapters, collect the free tickets they hand out, and keep pulling on banner 1 until you hit 60 total pulls. That's the key. It's not complicated, it's just patience. For me, it took around an hour to do that, and I did most of it on my phone while I was on lunch break. It's actually perfect for mobile because you can make progress fast, grab the rewards, and your account starts stacking up resources while you barely have to think. And while we're talking about the story mode, yes, you can skip a lot of dialogue if you're not here for it. The main goal early is unlocking systems and getting those tickets. If you're someone who enjoys lore, you can slow down and read it later, but if you're trying to play efficiently, your early objective is basically tutorial, story chapters, free tickets, 60 pulls, unlock banner 2. That's the loop. Now, what kind of game is Dragon Traveler? It's basically an auto-battler with a very anime vibe, a lot of flashy animations, and yes, it has a decent amount of fan service, so just know what you're getting into. The gameplay is largely built around building a team, letting them fight, collecting rewards, upgrading your characters, and then repeating that cycle while you chase better pulls and stronger builds. And since it's free to play, it fits into that classic style where it's super easy to jump in, make progress, and then decide how deep you want to go. One feature I actually really like, I didn't expect it to be as useful as it is the ability to basically minimize or step away while the game keeps doing its thing. There's an option where you can go back to the main world and it continues to auto-battle for you. On PC, you can just minimize the window and do something else. On your phone, you can literally put your phone in your pocket, come back later, and you've got rewards waiting. It's a small quality of life thing, but it makes the game feel way more playable during the day, especially if you've got work or you're busy. You don't feel like you're stuck staring at the screen for every fight, because a lot of the time the game is progressing in the background. Alright, back to the banners and crystals, because this is where your early strategy really matters. Once you unlock banner 2, that's when you can start thinking about spending crystals. You'll notice pretty quick that a 10 pull costs around 3,000 crystals on that second banner, and that's why I keep saying, don't waste crystals early, because once you're aiming for SSR units, those crystals go fast. If you spend your crystals too early on banner 1, you're going to hit banner 2, and you'll be sitting there like, wait, I don't have enough for a 10 pull, and it feels bad. So save first, unlock banner 2, then start spending smarter. Now here's one of my early team recommendations, and this is another thing I wish I knew sooner. Early on, I recommend you run 2 healers and invest in them. A lot of games push the idea of running a tank plus a healer, but in my first few hours, 2 healers felt stronger than 1 healer and 1 tank, because the healing is so constant that your team just doesn't drop. They keep topping everyone off so quickly that it's surprisingly hard for your units to die, which makes early story pushing way more comfortable. What I did was focus my healers and get them to around level 40 within the first hour or so, and that carried me through a lot of early content. So if you're wondering what to level first, my answer is, pick your 2 best healers early, level them up, and let them keep your whole squad alive while you build everything else around them. Another huge quality of life thing is the speed settings. The game has 1x speed, 2x speed, and 3x speed, but you don't unlock them all immediately. You unlock higher speeds as you progress through the story. From what I experienced, it took around 2 hours of playing to unlock 3x speed, and once you get it, everything feels way smoother. Grinding feels faster, battles feel less slow, and the whole pace of the game improves. So if the early game feels a bit sluggish, just know it gets better as soon as you unlock the higher speed options. Now let's talk about what else is in the game besides the main campaign, because there's actually a bunch of side content. You've got mini-games and modes that break up the routine, and some of them are honestly pretty fun. There's a tower defense mode where you're defending an object or building against waves of enemies. There's a Monopoly-style board game where you roll dice, move around, and get rewards. There's a spin wheel for extra rewards. You've got dailies, weeklies, and achievements that constantly throw currency at you as long as you're doing a little bit each day. The game is clearly designed to keep you logging in, doing a few tasks, collecting rewards, and then chasing more characters. And let's be real, a big part of the appeal here is pulling for the characters, especially the fan service SSRs with unique looks and abilities. I actually pulled an SSR pretty quickly. I got the Snake Girl within the first hour, and that felt really good early because it instantly gave me something strong to build around. Your luck will vary, obviously, but early pulls can happen, and the game does a decent job of showering you with early resources if you're pushing story and doing your beginner missions. There are also patrol missions, which are basically dispatch missions. You send your team out for like an hour in real time, and they come back with resources. That's another feature that makes this feel like a great lunch break game, because you can log in, do a couple fights, send out a patrol, and then come back later. It's simple, but it keeps the progression rolling even when you're not actively playing. Progression-wise, you can upgrade your heroes a lot. You can push them up to +6 star, you can equip items to increase their total power level, and you'll constantly be improving your team with gear, upgrades, and pulls. There's also PvP if you're into that, and there are guilds, which can be a big deal because guild systems usually mean extra rewards, guild bosses, and currency you wouldn't get alone. You can grab items and resources through the guild, fight bosses to support your group, and it adds a social layer if you want it. The campaign itself is also structured in a pretty satisfying way. You get bosses at the end of chapters, you get gems and goodies for clearing them, and it always feels like you're making progress toward the next unlock. And for me, after about 3 hours of playing across phone and PC, I can honestly say that as a free-to-play player, I'm having a good time. It's not pretending to be something it's not. It's an anime-style auto-battler with lots of systems, lots of rewards, and lots of reasons to keep logging in. So if you're looking for something to casually play, something to fill the gap while waiting for bigger releases like Arknight's Enfield, or you just want something you can play during your lunch break and then continue on PC later, Dragon Traveler is actually worth trying. Even if you don't think you're going to play it for months, it might still scratch that itch for a while, and it's free, so there's not much to lose. Quick recap of what I wish I knew before I started, because this is the part that'll save you time. Do the tutorial, push story chapters, collect free tickets, don't spend crystals early, do 60 pulls on the first banner using tickets, unlock the second banner, and then spend crystals more wisely. And if you want an easy early team setup, try running 2 healers and leveling them hard early so your team becomes basically unkillable in the early chapters. Alright, that's my first look. If you enjoyed this and you want more updates like what the mid-game feels like, what the best early SSRs are, and whether the game stays fun after the honeymoon phase, then hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll do a follow-up after I've played more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.